What are the Dutankas for?
Bring up the kilesas.
That's right. So, I mean, one of the big kilesas is anger. And another one is greed. I mean, the Dutankas are only there, to extensify or intensify our practice. Once we can deal with these things, with the kilesas properly, and they don't bother us too much, that's where we start actually the Dutankas. To bring them up, to see them more clearly. Because if you do day in, day out, and we don't see the kilesas coming up, then we start doing some of the practices, ascetic practices, and ascetic practices were designed by the Lord Buddha to bring up the anger. Bring up the anger and bring up the greed, so that we can clearly see it. However, if you don't have any methods, to deal with the anger or greed, I mean, what's the use of bringing it up? We have to learn, with these basic things. How do we deal with anger? How do we deal with greed? When greed comes up, they are not me. They are not mine. They don't belong to me. And once you put them where you can observe them, then you investigate it. Anger, what it is. What is it? Go back to the feeling of anger. Really feel it. Really feel it in your heart. And then ask yourself, why do I do that onto me? Why do I invite the anger? Why do I invite all these kilesas, to come and make a turmoil in my heart? They are coming. And we invite them, and we think they are mine, they are me, they are mine, they belong to me, they are right, especially when we come from the West. Anger is always justified. Somebody did something onto us. It's always justified. And that's where we don't see the anger. We can't see the anger if we justify it. We can only see the anger, or we can only see the greed if we are not justifying it. You understand that? Greed is something, that comes onto us. In the moment we say, yeah, it's fine, this greed is okay because I didn't eat anything, that's why I can be greedy. Or, we don't say, of course, we don't say I'm greedy, and we don't say we are angry. Because we have already justified it, we haven't given it a means, a proper standing. And so, how can we investigate anything that has a proper standing, that has our recognition, it is justified. We cannot. It's impossible. And the more we do it, the more we get into a hole. The deeper we get into this hole. And we cannot find a way out. Because, all these justifications that we put into, be it greed or be it anger, they're overwhelming us. And in the end, we only have the option to give up. Practicing as a monk is already quite difficult. So, as long as we cannot deal properly with these things, don't do the Dutankas. Because if you can't deal with it, it goes just in the wrong direction. And it's the kilesas that are using it. Using it for you to become so angry and so irrational, that they find a way out of monkhood. That's what their intention. They make us break. You understand that? They want to break us. If they cannot break us with these little things, they want to break us, by exerting ourselves. They want us to follow the most strictest practices that we can't even endure. They can't even endure it for a day. But they want to follow us. Yes, that's right. That's the right practice. They're telling us this. And everything else is false. That is contradicting the Lord Buddha. The Lord Buddha always taught them Majjhima Paripada. It's a middle way of practice. Neither going into this extreme, nor going into that extreme. I really want you to understand that. The kilesas have no other intention to make us break. So that's why they are extremely fierce, they are extremely strict. Strict with ourselves, but not in the way strict, that makes the kilesas go hungry. Strict in thinking, strict in, we should do this, and looking down on other people's practice. He's just following his creed. Or he's just following this, or he's just following that. He just does do that. He doesn't really practice really toughly. It's not our objective to look at others. It's our objective to look only at ourselves. And I really want you to understand that. It's not how the others behave. The others behave their way and that's their karma, and we behave our ways. I just want you to understand how the kilesas, make us completely or fool us completely by this kind of strategy. We read the Patipada, or we read, the biography of Lumpur Puman and say, yes. But we don't even have the means to do that. Do we have the means, to sit through the night, through all the pain? Can we do that from 6 o'clock in the night to 6 o'clock in the morning? That's a way, of practice of Lungtar Mahapo. Do we have that? We can't do that. So, why do we want to take on this? Not yet. It's not yet time. It's just like a little child who just learns how to stand up, wants to run, for a marathon. And yes, of course, it sees all these people running, and it also wants to run, But in the moment it takes one step, it falls on his nose, and cries, I can't do that. And that's where the kilesas are getting us, The more stricter we are, we think we are with ourselves, the more easy it is to fall over. So realize what you can do, and do that properly, without any exemption. That's the way, we practice. If we do something, then we do it without exemption. If we want to practice, 3 hours, then we practice 3 hours walking meditation, and then don't give up, a minute before. If we want to sit 3 hours, then we sit 3 hours without, moving before 3 hours gone by. That's the thing, that's the basis of practice. But without a basis of practice, doing all this at once, and then thinking of us, we are better than others, this is going completely off the hook. And it's completely counterproductive. It's not helping us in any way, it's only helping the kilesas, to make us fall or to make us fail. And I really do want you to understand this. It's not that I don't watch you. I do observe you. And I observe, if you do this or do that, and I observe your practice. And it's quite good, if you do my kuti for me, I will see, where your practice is. It shows so clearly in these little small details that we haven't looked up or we've forgotten over the time. That shows us, that shows me especially where the practice is. It should, if your practice develops, it should slowly increase, Doesn't mean, there cannot be 1 day or 2 days, where you fall back, But then you should get back up on the track. And if that's not happening, that means, something is really failing in your practice. You don't do the practice correctly. And that's why I give this talk. Because I have the feeling, that you're not, some of you are not doing the practice correctly. Get to learn, how to do the basis. You have to find the basis in your heart where you can rely on. And from there on, you can adventure, to any place. But if you can't do that, and you see you can't do that, and put even more stricter practices on you, all you will do is to fail. And that's going to happen. If you don't persist or resist these kilesas. I mean, they are not you, they are not mine, they don't belong to me, they are not myself. All what they do is they're creating turmoil in our heart. I mean, get down to the place where the chitta is calm and where it stops thinking, at least for moments and moments. And then get to the next step. I mean, the first part of our practice is get to this calm. I mean, no matter what, And this doesn't come, the calm doesn't come, from stricter practices. It's just, the calm comes, from not letting go of our Buddha, or not letting go of our breath. That's where the calm comes from. I mean, if you think about, if I do the stricter practice, the calm will come. No, it won't come. I mean, actually more agitation will come, but we don't see it. I mean, if we cannot stay on the Buddha, I mean, then we have to force it. Once we force it for a while, I mean, then we relax again and then, dive into, let it, just breathe it in. Just breathe in the Buddha, just be with the Buddha. I mean, being with the Buddha for 100%, I mean, makes us completely calm. There's nothing else. There's just calmness. And that's why we can take a breath. I mean, that's when we really can take a breath and look around. And then we see it. Once we have reached this calm, we will see the way to it. We see it. And the only thing that we have to do, is just stick our chitta, or stick the chitta to the breath. Put our concentration up there and have sati, being aware of the breath. Last time I remember I told you that if you don't have enough sati, use this of noting. But I think you forgot it already. I mean, when I look at your action, there's no noting. I mean, you're not aware of your action. Because it's so difficult. I mean, yes, of course, this practice is difficult. I mean, but how did Lungda Mahabodhi did it? He just put his mind on it. I just put my mind. I just want to reach it. No matter if I'm alive or dead. I mean, I just want to reach this state. And that's how I reached it. Not with all these ascetic practices, not by looking down on others, not by looking at myself. What am I doing? Oh, now I'm taking my class. Now I put the class to my. Now I look at the movements of my hand or the movements of my leg. I mean, always the whole day be having sati. Be aware of what is going on. And at the same time, being aware of all these thoughts coming in. And instantly chuck them out. Not worth it, not worth it, not interested. You can't fool me. I mean, use whatever means, you have to be clever. You know yourself better. Use whatever means, cuts down. Or just say anatta, or use anicca. I mean, a thought comes, it goes, It has no substance. Nothing in this universe that we experience has a substance. Everything changes. Everything completely arises and ceases, and especially thoughts, in such a fast manner. I mean, feelings are a little bit slower, but they also arise and cease. I mean, see this arising and ceasing, or note it. I mean, once you have sati, you will notice all these things. How can you not notice it? All what you notice is what the other peoples are doing. And that's certainly not the way. That's not Majjhima Patipada. Majjhima is the middle way of practice, just to be with oneself. I mean, what did the Lord Buddha teach us, the monks? I mean, if you live in a monastery, live like you are alone. I mean, that means don't go, and socialize with people. I mean, if you live alone, just live like in the monastery. What does that mean? I mean, just to do the duties like we do in the monastery, and do the duties of sweeping around our place, keeping our place proper and clean, and doing the chanting, and keeping the rules. Because if we are alone, we don't care about the rules, we don't care about cleaning, we don't care about chanting, we just want to do what we do. And because nobody sees us, we can completely fall into our own laziness and rhythm. That's not useful. How can you defeat the laziness, the kilesa of laziness with laziness? Huh? It is, you have to defeat it with Kayanman, what is it? With persistence, not letting go, And all what is happening is in your heart. The kilesas, of course, will pierce your heart, and then you say, okay, if I'm dying, because of this piercing of the heart, then I will die, but I will not give in to these damn kilesas. That's persistence. That's persistence in our effort. And that will bring results. If I remember correctly, effort or persistence is one of the 7 factors of enlightenment. I think I'm quite right. Samadhi is one of the factors of enlightenment. Sila is one of the factors. Equanimity, not being touched by all these emotions, that really weigh us down. Emotions, investigate these things when they come in. If they are too strong, then just investigate, sit there. So, okay, what is this emotion? How does it feel like? Why do I do it onto myself? If somebody else hits you, you never ask, you will hit him back. So why don't you get a hit at the kilesas? They are doing that onto you. Why don't you hit them back? Why do you say, yes, that's me, it's my own fault. Your own fault is not to have enough sati. That's your fault. Not enough, not enough persistence. Instantly you give way. How do you think, you want to end the cycle of rebirth, or even find a way out of the cycle of rebirth, if you don't have enough persistence, if you constantly give in to these kilesas? And these kilesas of anger and greed, are quite strong. So, this resists them. Tell them, you're not me, you're not mine. And you will see, once you resist them, it really didn't matter if you have this thing or not, or if you got rid of this thing or not. It really doesn't matter, because that's gone. Everything is gone. Greed is gone. Hate is gone. The next moment it arises again to something else. Keep them away. Keep them at the distance so that you can look at them. That's not me. Use this anatta. That's not me, that's not mine, that doesn't belong to me. Until you can clearly see anger in front of your eyes. Understand what I mean? Push them so far, push them, or cut the attachment so that you can actually look at it as some stranger. Cut the attachment, with either anicca, anatta or dukkha. Dukkha. And then look at it. And see what it does to your body. See how it completely controls you. And then ask yourself, why? Why in the hell am I doing this? Or ask yourself, what in the hell is going on now? When you see any kind of strange feeling, or when you can see any kind of feeling, what in the hell is going on? Who is putting that on to me? And the only answer to this question is the kilesa. They are there. And believe me or don't believe me, they are the ones who try to make us break. They are one, if they can't break us, in the easy way, they break us, with these Dhutanga practice. Extremely strictly. I've seen so many of you, breaking in this way. Coming on, and said, yes, I want to do that. And then after 2 weeks realizing they can't do that. And then going into just the other extreme. From being strictly strict, to being strictly lazy. That's not the Majjhima Patipata. That's not the middle way of practice. Just keep your persistent effort, all the time, all day long. Be it much or be it less, but this will help you, and that certainly will take fruits. That certainly will have fruits, on your path of practice. But going too strict and then going too easy and too strict, this is just a roller coaster. And it doesn't do anything on the kilesas. They just play with us. Understand them. They are your enemy. They are your arch enemy. You understand what arch enemy is? This is the enemy that keeps us imprisoned. Imprisoned in this body, imprisoned in the feelings, imprisoned in these thoughts, in these ideas, in these, concoctions, or perceptions. We perceive the world, through our own eyes. Whatever we see in this world is, or comes out of this chitta. Nothing else. It all comes out. If it's a leaf, if it's a tree, it all comes out of this chitta. We don't even know what the world is looking like, when there is no perception. When we see these people, we see this person or that person, and looking down on this person, Why? Just to make us feel better? Or we are just as bad as they are. Why? Because we are both born because of greed and hate. That's why we are here on this human plane. Or how can you be better? Do your practice. Be not concerned with other people. Don't look down. And if you don't look down, actually it does help. You're just concerned with your own practice. You learn to become tolerant. What other people are doing is their problem. The kilesas are in my heart, they are not in their eyes. What they are doing, even if you think it's bad, what you're doing is bad already. It's really bad. What you're doing at the moment when you're judging other people is really bad. You're not only doing something wrong, you're not only wrong them, but you really do yourself not a favor, but you fall into a pit. When you continue doing it. And this pit becomes deeper and deeper and deeper, and in the end you don't find any way out. Remember this very well, what I said. Don't go this way. Don't judge others. Just be concerned about your own practice. If you want to do your own practice, then just go ahead. If you don't want to talk to anybody, then just go ahead and don't talk to anybody. If you just want to persist in your practice, then good, do. If you want to eat little, then go ahead, and do it. But as I said, whenever you stress something, whenever you cut down on what the kilesas are liking, anger is coming up. It is certainly coming up. And I can feel it, I just need to pass by and I can see the anger, I can feel the anger that is in you. And you have to learn a way how to deal with this. Also with greed, you have to learn, to cut down on greed, not to give in, Sometimes you can give in and evaluate it. Okay, now I've given in to my greed, how do I feel? Just as shitty as before. Don't think, in the future will become better. This is the most, it is a most wrongful thought. If it's now not good, how can it be that in 5 minutes it's better? Or tomorrow is better? Or when I do this it's better? If it's now not good, how can it be better in the future? Who tells you that it's better in the future? Don't be fooled by this. They get us always. If I do this, I will feel better. If I do that, I will feel better. If my practice becomes better. The practice becomes better when we have persistence. When we put effort in our practice, then the practice becomes better. And the more persistence and effort we put in our practice, just the practice of sticking with the Buddha or with the breath, how can it not become better? But if we think, if I do this, maybe become better. If I do that, maybe become better, So we are constantly fooled by the kilesas and still don't realize it. That they are fooling us, They want to break us. It's their only, If they see us, we are on the way, on the right Dhamma, they want to break us. Because they don't want us to step outside of the cycle of birth and death. They don't want that. So they rather prefer us to break down, completely. It's all useless. I mean, this is the worst kind of emotional state that we can have, to feel sorry for ourselves. I mean, what's the use of it? Feeling sorry for ourselves, I cannot do that, I cannot do it, look at all these others, they can do it, but I cannot do it. It's nothing else than one of these obnoxious kilesas, that just wants to put us down. If I can do a step, then I can do it. What's wrong with doing one more step? What's wrong with doing one more Buddha? Just placing our interest on one more Buddha. What is wrong with it? How can we not do that? Ask yourself. But we're fooled. You're fooled, and you constantly listen. I mean, just shut off this radio of the KBC. Just shut it off. I mean, turn it off. And just tell them, I'm not interested in what you say. I'm not interested. The Dhamma comes out in a completely different way, so don't even think that the Dhamma comes out in these things, in this form, in these ideas. That's not the Dhamma coming out. The Dhamma has a very, very, very soft voice. It just knows. It just lets us know. I mean, that wasn't right. Everything else is then made up. The Dhamma just knows this is right or this is not right. It just doesn't bring up these ideas. That's not Dhamma. That's the kilesas. The kilesas that want to make us break. And I mean, you really take this to heart. I mean, because in the end you will break if you don't listen to them. If you don't follow the advice of somebody, who has practiced it this way. I mean, I've never looked at anybody else and never looked down, What is he doing, I mean, I can do better than him. Never. Because I wasn't even concerned about what other people are doing. I was only concerned about myself. And do I have enough sati? See, I lack sati. What can I do, to get more sati? That was my only interest. That was my only concern. What other people did, I mean, it just didn't interest me. I mean, I had so much to do. I mean, all hands full, like you say, all hands full, to do with myself, with my owner. With my own inner self that constantly wants to push me around and tell me all these lies, and wants me to believe them. So I had enough work to do. I mean, looking around on what other people do is just the opposite of practice. It's not good, and it makes us just falling deeper into the hole. And in the end, we don't come out. Really, do take that, what I said today, do take it to heart. I mean, learn how to deal with these things, I mean, resist anger and look at it. Make it not self, Make it so that you can watch it. Or if you see it's coming up, just like the Lord Buddha said, if you see anger coming up, I mean, just make a wide berth. Just don't get into the situation where you get angry. If you can't deal with the anger. If you can deal with the anger, then you can get into all the situation that makes you angry to see, how good your methods or how good your tricks are, how well you can deal with the anger. But if you can't deal, just avoid the situation for the moment until you have enough calm, enough equanimity to deal with it. The same thing for greed. I mean, you have to resist anger and you have to resist greed to be able to watch them, to observe them. Where are they coming from? Why did they come? What was the start? And then it's always, anger mostly comes, because, I mean, we looked at somebody, and we didn't like the way he behaved, and then anger comes up. I mean, he should behave better like that. He's a monk, Just a short thought, we are not even mindful of. We are not even aware. That makes us angry. It's just one view and one opinion that we have. I mean, put your effort, I mean, if you want to get calm, I mean, all what you need is effort and persistence. Just keep with your object, no matter what. And increase your sati, just like I talked last time, I mean, where's the noting gone? I mean, you've forgotten it because it's so difficult, I mean, who's telling us it's so difficult? Just do it one time, and then the next time when you remember it, do it. The next time when you remember it, do it again, And after a while, it will become a habit. Of course, if you think, it's so difficult, we don't even start doing it. What is difficult with making a step? What is difficult with making a mental note? What's so difficult about it? Because the kilesas tell us it's difficult because they cannot freely roam around. That's why it's so difficult. The kilesas love to roam around freely. They don't want to be controlled. That's why, we have to control them. That's why we have to curb them in. That's why we have to put our effort and and persistence, in just being on this Buddha, or on the breath. All the time, from the moment we open our eyes till the moment we close our eyes. Why can't we do that? It's so difficult. I mean, that means we believe the kilesas, and the kilesas they are always right, because they have kept us for so many billions of lives, in the realm of birth and death. Of course they are right, they have so much experience about life, So how can they not be right? But if we want to make, if we want to keep in, I mean, what keeps us here? If we want to keep in the realm of Vatachaka, or, the realm of birth and death, if you want to die again and be born again and die again and be born again, I mean, it's your choice, I have nothing to say with it. But if you want to make it out, I mean, you have to start cutting these things down. You have to develop effort, and you have to develop persistence. I mean, you wouldn't be sitting here if you didn't do that already. I mean, when you learned to walk, you did it. When you learned to talk, you did it. When you went, to school, you did it. I mean, you didn't like all these subjects, you were learning, but you knew it is important. I mean, you have to pass it. Otherwise, you will not be able to earn some money, for your living. That's why you did it. So why can't you do that? I mean, all what you need to do is one step. But once the step is finished, the next step. Once that step is finished, the next step. All that is all. What is so difficult? What's so difficult? One Buddha. And all what I need to do, once I'm with this Buddha, completely with this Buddha, then the next Buddha comes. Okay, then I take this Buddha. I mean, what is so difficult about it? You think about time, all this time, I mean, there is no time. There's just this one Buddha. There's just this one present moment. And don't be fooled by the kilesas who constantly tell you, after, if I do this, it will be better. If I do that, it will be better. You're constantly running around. You're jumping out of your Changram path, or you're jumping out from your meditation sit because you think now you have to pee, or now you have to drink something, or now you have to go to Nampana and drink that because that will boost your morale. It will only boost the kilesas. It won't boost your morale, and it will make you even, weaker and less determined, more undetermined. It will cut down slowly. I mean, they just, give me the little finger, If you give them the little finger, they take everything you have. Remember this well. Today that was quite a fiery talk. It's just one step, one moment where you have to be aware. That's all what is necessary. Once this moment has passed, then the next moment. So drag yourself along this moment to moment. Don't think about time. Just be, I'm mindful this one moment. I mean, everybody can do that. There's nobody that cannot be one moment mind. There's no person. We can if we want to. But we don't want to. So hot, I'm so hungry, I'm so thirsty, everything creeps in. We don't have enough determination. Determination just this one moment, Once this moment is past, we track us from moment to moment. And you will see, if you do that, time passes by, just like in a wink of an eye. It just passes by because we are just occupied with this one moment. And then one moment is passed, one breath has passed, then we go on to the next breath and take this as this moment. How can that be difficult? It cannot be difficult. We do one step after a step, We run through the forest, we climb mountains, we climb them up and we climb them down, we run over rivers, when we want to do what we want to do, there's nothing we cannot do. But in this kind of practice, it's what we need to do is this effort and determination for this one moment. Once this moment has passed, then the next moment. Then we just take it the next moment. And if we don't let in any thoughts in, we will be happy and contented with just this one moment. Just this one present moment. All the happiness and contentment comes from this one moment, where we are completely fully satisfied is in this one moment. Just, this is nice to feel the breath in. It's nice to feel the breath out. It's nice to feel the breath in. It's nice to feel the breath out. Or it's just nice, to feel this Buddha. Going through, filling up all our whole body. So what is so difficult? It's the same thing, the kilesas make you think it's difficult, that's why you don't even start. It's the same with the noting. They say, tomorrow it will be better, if it's getting cooler a little bit, I will practice more. If I go to Panna, I will practice, even more, And actually when you come back, you have a hangover, It's really a hangover. You really have to pull yourself back, And then if you don't investigate these things, you will be constantly fooled till the end of your life, of this life, next life, and the next billion of lives that you intend to make. So, are there any questions? Just go for this one moment. You don't have to run a marathon. It's the same thing with a marathon, It's the first time you run a marathon. You think about these 5 kilometers or the 10 kilometers that you have to run, and after the first 2, 3 steps, you're already tired. If you just think about this one step, that's how they run a marathon. Think about this one step. This movement, that movement, this movement, that movement. And no time passes, they finish the 10 kilometers. And that's the same thing for our practice. Just be this moment, mind, aware, or just, note it, Yes, tomorrow it's better. It's always better tomorrow. Remember, also, use your memory and remember how much they fooled you about this. How often did they fool and did it get better? In the end, it never got better, That's why you ended up here. It never got better. It always got worse only. The moment we believe them, yes, if you do this, now I make a travel through the whole world, it got better. Actually, it didn't. It got more confused. We have more ideas, we have more places to see, Just reflect, how the kilesas constantly fool you. They lie to you constantly. They are shameless. They have no sense of shame. They tell you anything, and you, sorry to say, but you're so stupid and believe them. I can't do that. And you believe them. What is going wrong? Do you think your body breaks up, if you sit for 5 minutes more? But they tell you, yes, I ruined my body, And that's why you get up. I mean, have you ever seen somebody, sitting, when he sits in the plane for 11 hours? Huh? Just do that, 11 hours, flight back to Europe. We sit in the airplane for 11 hours. I mean, nothing breaks, no bone breaks. But if you sit here for 3 hours, everything breaks. I mean, isn't that amazing? Just because they are entertained, just because they think they go somewhere, where do they go? They go back to whatever is there, always is there. What is there is thought, memories, feelings, body. That's what they go to. They're looking forward to the next bodily feeling, to the next feeling, mental feeling, to the next thought, to the next thought, to the sights, to the sounds, to the smells. That's where they go. But you have the sights and sounds and smells already. Why do you need to go over there to get them? Huh? Did they promise you anything there? They will better the sight, sound and smell? I mean, a sight is a sight, a sound is a sound, a smell is a smell. A taste is a taste and a touch is a touch. Huh? But you believe them. If I go over there, the tastes will be better, the touches will be better. Huh? And that's how we get food. Really, reflect upon it. Yeah? And take that what I said, really to heart and reflect upon it wisely. Okay? Oh, what I can say. Okay? More questions?